I was watching the YouTube channel Gesiþas Gewissæ, and it is turning into my favourite channel to watch at the moment. He's just shown his garden, and it is a beautiful example of sustainability. It is a subsistence garden. You need nothing more than that man's efforts to make that garden feed him till the end of time. So what he does is scythe grass, and he uses it as a mulch. That mulch feeds the soil, which grows his plants. The grass itself doesn't need feeding. As you probably know from your own garden, your lawn doesn't actually need any feeding. It gets it's the nutrients it provides probably come from the mixture of coming up from the soil, from the ultimately the mineral substructure, and from the air through microbes. It doesn't fix nitrogen. The microbes, a lot of microbes take in nitrogen themselves, then die, and then plants take it up, and then you transfer that into your garden by cutting the grass and laying it down as mulch. It is risky. I've done it before. I found it very successful with leeks. There's a guy, Jim Kowaleski in America, who does type into Google Jim Kowaleski grass-fed garlic, and it's well worth seeing what he does there. It's a very good technique. So I've had good success in the past with leeks. It doesn't work with pumpkins, with squash. Potatoes are a little bit dodgy, and it also provides a habitat for slugs and snails. So which is why this year I swore to myself I would not do a mulch. It would just be hoed soil, fine tilth, and of course that works. It is weeds and mulch and grass that slugs and snails live in, and counter to what the experts are now saying in the media, if you want to be a successful gardener, you must deal with your slugs. It is the greatest poppycock to go around telling people that they can coexist with slugs when they're trying to grow a good garden. It doesn't have to be Megadeth. It doesn't have to poison your soil to do it. Just deal with it well. I mean, if you want to go full organic, beer traps, they work pretty well. I use slug pellets. I use the organic slug pellets that, when they degrade, when they finish their job, they turn into iron and phosphate, I think, which goes into the soil. It doesn't poison the earth. But anyway, yes, so it was nice. I've always said if you're studying the Anglo-Saxons, the Anglo-Saxon past, it's only really of any use when you consider how it's affected the present, the past, and how it might affect the future. And they've done it beautifully in that sense, because he doesn't say anything at all. He just shows, and he shows a sustainable way of. I don't know whether he's using other fertilizer, by the way. You know, I don't have a clue, but just on the face of it, it looks organic and it looks sustainable. I've done it myself. One area I can't do, which he does, and I'm so jealous, is he has a stream, so he has pasture for the fertilizer, stream to water his plants, and an equal amount of land close to his dwelling to grow good vegetables. One area I would encourage him to. It all looks a bit sort of the plants he uses are very British. I suspect if he was a Gesiþ of Wessex, he might have a few plants that are reasonably exotic, and the reason for that is that we know there was trade between England and Europe and the Middle East. So poppies, I'd be very surprised if somebody in each village wasn't growing poppies for medicinal reasons, as a painkiller. You may know that I have gone on the record as being against antisocial behaviour, against law breaking. I grow poppies for the flowers, and the fact that they are very sustainable in the sense that they self-seed and just keep amusing me every year with their beautiful colours. Their real use is medicinal and unfortunately antisocial. But I don't think we should lose the ability. Lose the ability to know how to medicate ourselves when there is a situation of disorder or whatever, a situation of breakdown, war, climate disaster. I think we should keep our skills up. So I recommend growing the poppy for visual reasons in your garden. It looks nice. And for the future, should there be chaos of any sort, you would be in a good position to deal with injuries and so on in your household. Anyway, so I think poppies would be in a Gesiþ's garden. What about fruit? Apples. The Romans brought apples to England. I bet they brought cherries and plums. And just wandering around the woods, you'll know you might not see many really nice plums. You will see cherries and you will see apples on the edge of woodland, and this is just where people have spat out or tossed away an apple core, and it is just grown. They fit in this landscape really quite well. Obviously they're not indigenous, they come from the Middle East or Iran or maybe even India, but way over there. But again, I think your Gesiþ or your alderman might have a few things like that. I was discussing with the author on his comments channel, talking about ancient greenhouses, and he mentioned cucumbers. The cucumbers aren't squashes. They have been known about in Europe for a long time. They may have a method. I mean, I grow cucumbers outside. I mean, I have to protect them with a nice wall. But yes. So I just wanted to respond to his video. I mean, all the other videos have been really good as well. He made a dwelling out of locally sourced materials. This is all sustainability. You don't want to live like an anglo-saxon peasant in the future, but we should prepare ourselves with the right skills and the right management of the land to have resources to do all the things we need to live, to have dwellings, to clothe ourselves, to eat. And it is a very primitive model, but it works. So my philosophy on sustainability sees a modern landscape, modern buildings, but made out of locally sourced wood, using what do you call it? Using hay to insulate, all of that sort of thing, and we can do it. there's no need for massive amounts of concrete and steel.